Hi, I'm Peggy, and today we're going to talk about lymphedema and some of the fun stuff that goes along with caring for yourself if you have lymphedema. Now, I want to make a couple of things really clear before we get started with this video. First of all, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a medical professional, and nothing that I say is medical advice, nor should it be taken that way. I have lymphedema. I've had lymphedema for over 20 years. I've worn compression garments for over 12 years. So there's a few things that I know works for me and has helped me, and things that didn't work for me. And today I'm just going to share kind of how things work for me and just kind of encourage you, and also give maybe your family and friends an idea of what you go through every day when you have lymphedema. So first of all, when I got the idea to make this video, I was just going to make one video and I was going to talk about compression garments. And then when I got started on it, I thought, you know what, there's so much that goes into taking care of yourself, reducing yourself before you can even get into a compression garment. I decided to make this video actually a two-part video. So in this part, the first part, we're going to talk about what happens from the beginning. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I had lymphedema in my left leg for 8 years before I was diagnosed. 8 years of all sorts of crazy tests, all sorts of crazy, try this, do this, all these things. But once it was finally diagnosed, I was so excited because in my mind, I thought the second we find out what it is, we can fix it. Of course, everybody knows what happened then. I was told it was incurable. There was no fix. So for me personally, what ended up happening is my insurance covered about 8 sessions with an occupational therapist. And I showed up and she said, pretty much her job was to teach me how to take care of myself, how to maintain myself. She was going to teach me how to do self-manual drainage massage. She was going to teach me how to do multi-layer short stretch compression bandages. And she was going to, we were going to work together, and we were going to get at least as much off the size of my leg as we could, and then I would be fitted for a compression garment. So let me just tell you, if you don't know how to do a self-manual lymph drainage massage, that's something you should learn. Now, if your insurance covers it and you go in often and have your therapist do massages on you, good for you. Seriously, that's awesome. I've never been that fortunate. I don't have people that give me massages on a regular basis. I have been in, from time to time over the years, but pretty much I do my massages on myself. Right now, I would say, honestly, probably 3 or 4 times a week. There was a time when I would do a massage every morning and a massage every night. But right now, my lymphedema is under control really well, so I don't feel the need to do that much work because honestly, this takes time. I mean, when I was first diagnosed and my leg was out of control, my left leg was almost 3 times the size of my right leg. It was a mess, and it took a lot of care. I was told that it would never get smaller than it was at that point, and it has, because I'm very, very stubborn, and I'm really believe in taking care of yourself, because for me, I want to live long. I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to enjoy my kids and maybe someday my grandkids. I want to be able to live my life and enjoy my life. So to me, that means taking care of myself so that I don't end up in the hospital with cellulitis and my leg doesn't swell and I'm not overwhelmed with fatigue and pain and everything else. So to me, I take very good care of myself, and this is part of what I used to do. Some of this I still do. So I'm just going to kind of start off with, now again, if you have lymphedema in your arms, you would apply all these to that limb, but for me, it's my leg. So in order to reduce swelling, this is probably the #1 reduction tool. So what I would do is I would do a self-manual lymphatic drainage massage, and then I would wrap. Now, the multi-layer compression wrap would start with my toes with this little guy, and I would wrap every single toe with this, and then I would put on this fancy cotton protection just to protect my skin. It would go up all the way up my leg, and then I would start wrapping with foam. Now, if any of you have done this before, this stuff is hot. It's absolutely miserable. I'm not gonna lie. And I used this for years and years and years. So you apply the foam, going around. So about this point, you look like the Michelin tire guy. It's a pretty sexy look, let me tell you. And then you wrap with the short stretch bandages. Never, ever, ever use an ace bandage. An ace bandage will stretch up to 10 times its size. You don't want that because that's not the compression you need. These are short stretch bandages, and you apply the wrap. I'm obviously not going to go into detail how you do this, but one layer and then the opposite direction, another layer, and you work all the way up whatever limit is. For me, again, it was my leg, and I have all different sizes of these. Now, the fun thing about these that a lot of people, if you're not really thinking about it, is you have to wash these and you have to rewrap them. I eventually got this handy dandy wrap roller, and you put it on there. This attaches to a wall, and you keep compression on this because these have to be rolled with compression, and then you turn the handle and and then you can pull it off, and boom, you have it wrapped. That saved so much time because just caring for your materials are time consuming and frustrating because you have to wash these, hang them to dry. So you can imagine the bathroom always having bandages hanging everywhere to dry. These, like I mentioned, the foam is miserably hot and miserably uncomfortable. So just recently, I would say the last few years, Juzo came out with this awesome little device here, and you just put your little cotton on, and then you stick this on your leg. This is for a leg, and you can adjust it by size with the Velcro. So whether you're really swollen or you're starting to come down, you can put that on, and then you just apply the bandages on top of this. This is night and day more comfortable than foam. I'm not gonna lie to you. This stuff is so awesome. It's called soft compress. And this is, it's fitted to your leg, and then they have like for above your knee, so you can continue to wrap up. For me, I go all the way up my leg. So this stuff is so awesome. It's so much more comfortable. And it's quicker, and it doesn't, with the foam, sometimes it would slide, and it's just such a nightmare. So this, let me tell you what, this, I wish that they had these, which are really super cool. These are called short stretch wraps, also by Juzo, because I love my Juzo. But I wear these a lot in the evenings, and I sometimes wear them. They're not a night garment, but I sometimes wear them for a night garment, and they're Velcro, so they're all, but I'll put my foot right here. They also have a little sock for compression that you can put over your foot. Now for me, I either wrap my toes, or what I do, and again, not medical advice, because I'm sure your therapist would tell you not to do this, but I'm telling you what I do. I have an old toe cap. A toe cap is something like this, a part of my garment, and I'll put my toe cap on, my old toe cap, and then I'll put this on, and then I'll put this on. And so if I am swelling and I'm trying to reduce, maybe before I'm getting a new garment, or if I'm just having a flare up, these are the things I use. And also I have a lot of fibrotic tissue in my ankle. So these are little foam. Now I used to use it, I would just take little cuts of the foam and fold it but now these are these little pre-shaped. So you can, like on your ankle, it goes around your little bone there, so it really puts some extra compression. Maybe where you have some fibrotic, some stubborn swelling and some hardening, you know, this kind of helps break up that fibrotic tissue. So these are pretty cool. So this is what you're gonna do for however long it takes you to reduce the leg to the point where you think, okay, this is it. I'm not gonna get it any smaller. So for me, I would, in the beginning, wear this night and day, 24/7. You know, I would take it off to take a shower. I would take it off to wash everything and rewrap. But I kept this compression on for about 3 weeks. So I would take it off, do my manual lymphatic massage, drainage massage, rewrap, and wear it all day and all night, and do the same thing the next day until I got my leg down to the size where I was comfortable. My leg was down to the size that I was like, okay, I'm not going to reduce it anymore at this point. And then I went in and was measured for a compression garment. Now, I'm going to go ahead and finish up this video and tell you how important it is to do these things and keep your leg this reduced, and to follow up with all of this. I hear story after story from therapists how they can't get people with lymphedema that they're working with to wear these. They massage them, they wrap them, and then you guys go home and you get frustrated and take them off. Don't. Learn to do it yourself. I'll be honest, I think I've had one therapist ever that I liked the way they wrapped me. And what I mean by liked the way they wrapped me is it always felt good when I'm laying on the table, but as soon as I stood up, and by the time I got to the car, half the time they were falling off, they were bunching up at my ankles, they were a problem. So I pretty much always would wrap myself. In fact, there's times when I go to the therapist and I tell the therapist, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna handle it from here. And that's because I've done this so many times. I mean, for years and years, I did this myself, and I know how my body is, and I know, you know, how to get it to stay up without falling and binding. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying this is your health. This is your body. So use these. They look primitive and they look terrible, but they're going to help you maintain your size. They're going to help you move that lymphatic fluid out of your leg and out of your arm or whatever limb is affected. And it's going to keep you healthier, because remember, your lymphatic system is the biggest part of your immune system. So we want to keep that as healthy as we can. We want to keep those fluids and those wastes pushed out and taken care of, because that's going to keep you from, you know, your chances of infections, your chances of sicknesses. That's going to help make those chances less and less. So follow through and do this. And the more you do this, the sooner you can get into a compression garment and maybe night garments and things like that, so that you don't have to do all of this. But it's very important, because this is your health, this is your life, and you can do this. You absolutely can. There's no reason you can't do it. And if you physically can't, then get somebody to come over and help you, teach them. Find a friend to help you. But these are all doable. All of this you can do at home yourself. You can take care of your physical needs, and you can do that. There are devices and things that make it easier. There's wraps that make it easier that are pre-cut. Now, when I started doing this, there wasn't any of these cool things on the market. These are all relatively new. And companies like Juzo and other companies are really trying to come up with things to make it easier on us. But remember, you have to do it. You have to take care of it every day. You can't take a break and decide, oh, you know what? I'm not going to take care of my leg today, or your arm, or whatever limb it is. You have to do it every day and maintain it. So I just really want to encourage you guys. You can do it. You absolutely can. So I'm going to turn this video off, And I'm going to go over, and we're going to, on the next video, we're going to talk about compression garments. And I hope you find it really interesting. All right, I'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.